Hey guys, I'm here in the Boiling Isles with my palisman Willy, the Wooloo. Say hello. Meh. So today I felt like making an Owl House video because that show is amazing and I don't know, just really wanted to talk about it. I wrote a bunch of stuff that I wanted to talk about in my handy dandy notebook. I'm gonna put Willy down for now because I want to show you my awesome custom made notebook. It's really cool. It's purple, my favorite color. It has Pikachu with a unicorn horn, which is awesome. So I'm gonna start with how I discovered the Owl House. So basically, at that time, the 16th episode just came out, Grom. I think it was the 16th one. And I just finished watching Shira on Netflix. And so my Instagram was filled with Shira fan art. And I don't know, I guess the Shira community and the Owl House community, like they overlap. So eventually I got recommended Owl House fan art, especially of Grom because I just aired and it's like, oh my god, it's fucking the new game man, come on, we gotta draw this shit. I saw this image, it'll probably show up on screen. I saw this like 4 times in a row in my feed. I'm like, okay, what is this? What is this show? I've never seen this before. I go to the tags, it's like hashtag the Owl House. I do some Google searching. Oh, it's a cartoon on Disney called The Owl House. And yeah, that's basically how I first heard about it. And I became interested after seeing a bunch of Lumity content. Like, I had no idea who these characters were, but they were adorable with each other. So I'm like, huh, and eventually my feed became it transitioned from Shira fan art to just Owl House fan art. I'm like, okay, I should probably watch the show to actually understand what these people are drawing. And because the first piece of fan art that I saw was about Grom, and like a lot of artists drew Grom to like to celebrate like Luz and Amity dancing together, I just assumed that this was just an isekai magic school cartoon, like a bunch of generic anime. It's like, oh yeah, she went from the human world to the witch world and she's gonna study magic in a magic school. And I thought that it was gonna be like kind of a slice of life and where Amity is like a main character, like the main love interest. And I started watching episode 1. Like, what the fuck is this shit? This ain't like this cute isekai magic school. What am I watching? So like my expectations, or like not expectations, but like what I thought it would be and what it actually is it was just so far apart. I didn't expect like there to be a lot of horrifying creatures in the Owl House, and it turns out that the Owl House has like a horror genre kind of thing. So like I did not see that one coming because of the cute fan art. And yeah, and I thought the plot would be focused more on school. So if I watched the first episode, like, okay, when are we getting to school? And I watched the second episode, it's like, when are we getting to school? And I watched the third episode, it's like, she's finally getting to school. And then it turns out she didn't. I'm like, I watched the fourth episode, it's like, when is she getting to school? And then by that point, I realized, okay, I shouldn't prioritize or think about when she's going to school. I should just enjoy the ride, enjoy what the show's providing us because it's really damn good. Even though it's nothing like what I expected, it's still really good. So I'm like, okay, let me just enjoy whatever they have to offer. So anyway, hopefully my camera doesn't fall anymore. I've placed some tape so that it'll stay in place. But let's continue. Okay, when I watched the first episode, I thought the theme sounded really familiar, and when I did some quick Google search it was like, oh, Dana Terrace worked on Gravity Falls. So like, oh, okay, that makes sense. The theme sounds familiar, and then I heard King's voice. I was like, wait, that sounds like a Gravity Falls character. And then I did some more Googling, and it's like, oh my god, Alex Hirsch voices King and several other characters, like Hootie. I really thought Luce would sound differently. Like when I first heard Ida's voice, I thought it was perfect. Like basically, you could tell by her voice what kind of character it was. Maybe that's just how good the casting was, or maybe that's just how talented the voice actors were. But like I thought Ida's voice was basically perfect, and because King is basically this embodiment of chaos and evil, even though he's so cute. Alex's voice like fits perfectly. I think Yeah, his voice is the embodiment of chaos. I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, have you heard him sing Little Miss Perfect as Hootie? It's so cursed, it's so chaotic. Of course it'll fit King perfectly. But Loose though, I didn't expect her to sound that way, and I was kind of like, okay, this is what the main character is gonna sound like. I don't know if I'm into this, but like after a few episodes, I was like, yeah, okay, I'm used to it. Her voice grew on me. Not to say it was bad or anything. It didn't click like how Ida's voice clicked. I didn't know Amity was going to be like an evil character at first because of all the fan art. I was like, oh yeah, yeah, she's gonna fall in love with Luz. I just wonder how. But it turns out she started off as a bully, and I liked her redemption arc because it doesn't show that she's a bad person. She just really cares about her grades, and you later find out that's because of her parents. Like, whoa, that's some like deep character, I don't know, information. I don't know. It makes them feel like a real person, real character. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry about that. And I absolutely love the Blight siblings. Amity's really good. I love Amira. I love Edric. I feel really bad for Edric because of Grom actually. Like I heard they both got split up, but I feel bad for Edric especially because he just doesn't want to be alone. But Amira's greatest fear was being stuck with Edric all the time, so I just thought that was so sad. I mean, come on, man. Edric's not a bad dude. He's just a prankster. And I don't know, he's pretty cool. He's pretty chill. I just kind of wish that the show like showed that he had friends. But I guess he doesn't because he's afraid he's gonna be alone forever. Willow though, Willow is definitely best girl. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Pokemon. My favorite type is a grass type, obviously. If you've ever watched my channel, I talk about that like all the time. And Willow Plant Girl, she's so badass. Like not that first episode, the third episode, I think. Her first introduction, she was so badass. She just controlled all the plants. It was so cool. I was like, alright, Willow, best girl. Hope we see more of her. And then for like the next two episodes, we didn't see Willow at all. Like I think the next episode we saw Willow like for a few seconds, just like closing her windows or something. And then the next episode after that, we didn't see Willow at all. So I don't know. I wish Willow like had a larger impact on the story. I wish she had more screen time. I also wish Amity had more screen time. But the biggest offender is Gus. I love Gus. The first few times he showed up, he didn't really have any character development. I felt like he was just there to show us that, hey, this is also a character you want to pay attention to. This is Gus. He's gonna be Luce's friend. And I was like, okay. But they didn't really do anything with Gus. Um, the only character development, or I don't know, or I don't know how to call it, was during that episode with that new transfer student with the fake human goods. And I was like, okay, where are you going with this? Because it showed that Gus had trouble fitting in because he was younger than everyone else, and we're like, okay, that's a nice touch to his character there. Really dig that. But the bully was just was there supposed to be any character development for him? Because I felt like his attitude kind of shifted a little bit. Like, why did he want power? I felt like that was a motivation that the episode was gonna explore, but turns out he's just an asshole. I'm like, oh, okay, then why did you show him having his monologue? I felt like that just wasted time if you're not really gonna do anything about it. And after that, he just became a background character. Kind of sucks. I thought there was gonna be more to him. I mean, I hated him. I didn't want to see more of him. But like the show was like, oh yeah, he's an asshole to Gus, but that's because he wants power, and maybe you're gonna find out why he wants power. I'm like, yes, please. I would like to know, or else what's the point of it? Of like introducing this character? Was it just to introduce the concept of detention and how Luce was going to break detention, and later there's going to be a detention track? Was that just to set that? Because if it was, then there was really no need for us to listen to his inner thoughts. I don't know why I'm talking a lot about this stupid minor character that I don't think a lot of people care about. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. Um, Another problem I had was with King actually. I know King is really adorable and he's really cute, but honestly, he's kind of annoying sometimes. And um, okay, here let me clarify. I don't think King is that annoying, but I feel like every episode King gets into some trouble or something, right? And at the end of the episode, he learns to apologize and to own up to his mistakes, right? I'm like, okay, that's character development. And then in the next episode, he gets into trouble for the same behavior as the previous episode. So I'm like, what was the point of having King like, I'm sorry, Ida, I messed up. I'm sorry, Luz, I shouldn't have said that. But he keeps acting the same way for like multiple episodes. I'm like, what's the point of this? Is this just filler? If it's filler, I don't want it. I just want the story to progress. But although like filler like that, it's I know it's very enjoyable to some people, but I find the world of the Boiling Isles to be very, very interesting. But I just wish King had concrete character development, not like something they just say and they just throw it out the next episode. And there's a bunch of filler scenes too, like that whole episode where King becomes a writer. Like, what was the point of that episode? And what was the point of Ida going on a trip to find the thing, like the fruit of immortality or some bullshit? Like, what was the point of that? That didn't really end in anything. It just showed that Ida's a badass, and like, yeah, we know Ida's a badass. And then they show that Ida's sister, I actually forgot her name. Is it Lilith? It's probably Lilith. Lilith was a badass too, and I'm like, yeah, we kind of know Lilith is a badass. They had a whole witches duel, which I thought was awesome. Like that whole thing, that the convention, that was a really cool episode because there was like character development from Amity. It introduces the coven system, explains the color of the robes that Willow and Gus were wearing, and it introduces the Emperor's Coven, which is really cool. A lot of people strive for it. Introduces the concept of Emperor Bellows, I think. I'm not really sure. No, I think Emperor Bellows was mentioned in episode one, but we now know the full, like, a scope of his power that he controls the select elite. And I thought it was really cool. And they ended it with like an actual duel between two top tier witches, which was amazing. And then we had episodes like King becomes a writer, and it's not really mentioned again. Like, why waste an I don't want to say waste because I know that a lot of people put a lot of effort into creating the episode, but I felt like it didn't really contribute much to the grand scheme of things. Maybe if King had some concrete character development that actually carried over to future episodes, then that episode would be great, you know. Like another episode was basically the carnival episode. I was like, oh, King actually really fucked up. And then what? And then the next episode he fucks up again and again, and it's like, come on, man. It's cute the first few times, but now it's just getting annoying. I just wish that they did more with King instead of just having him exist. Yeah, okay, that's enough about the negative things about the Owl House. One of the things I really enjoy is the character designs. Like, god damn, these are all top tier characters. Like even Basha, I hate Basha. She has no redeeming qualities so far. Don't hate me. She has no redeeming qualities so far. But her character design is top tier. I love Skara. Like Skara, that part of Basha's gang. She's she's hilarious. She's adorable. I love Celine, like the crescent moon shaped girl. Um and I feel like there's more characters I enjoy, but since I'm doing this on the top of my head, I just don't remember them. But the character designs are really great, especially young Ida. Young Ida is amazing. She's so cute. Like what the heck? That's the pinnacle of character design right there. How do you make like this really cute character and then you grow her into this like really awesome badass character? I don't know. I don't even know the words that are coming out of my mouth. And just to go back to the witches duel between Ida and Lilith, I just love how Ida just incorporates Hootie into all her attacks. Like she just summons like three Hooties out of wood to attack Lilith. I thought it was really funny. And in the final battle with Lilith, she also uses Hootie, and I don't know. I watched the House with my friend, and they didn't really say anything about the Hootie thing. I just thought it was fucking hilarious. I don't know. I thought a lot of people would bring it up more on Instagram, but I guess not. Hootie is a great character though, although I know he's not supposed to be very important. He's just supposed to be like funny. And I totally get. I think they use Hootie sparingly, which is how I think King should have been used. Like Hootie doesn't appear a lot. He's just there. And it's nice to know he's there, but you don't really need to give a character speaking roles if they're not gonna do much, which is basically what they did with Hootie. I thought it was great. It'd be great if we knew more about Hootie, where he came from, how he possessed the house. But I'm sure we're gonna get that in season two, right, guys? Okay, what else do I have written here? Alright, next section. We're gonna be talking about ships. Of course, the main ship in the Owl House is Luce and Amity or Lumity. A lot of great fan art available. I get why people ship it. A lot of people seem to compare Luce to Adrian from Miraculous Ladybug, which I thought is hilarious, and Amity is basically Marinette. I don't think that way. Like, I mean, I don't think Luce is oblivious to Amity's crush on her. I saw this one post. It's like Luce has a lot on her mind, because of the whole curse with Ida, and she's so excited about learning magic. I don't think she just notices Amity's crush because she's so excited about everything that she misses the little details. She just thinks maybe Amity is excited to be with her, like a new friend because they used to be enemies, and oh yeah, we're closer now. That's a sign of friendship. I do think that eventually she'll pick up on Amity's behavior around her. Hopefully, I mean, I want Lumity to set sail, but I don't think it's fair to just label Luce as like oblivious to Amity, because Luce has a lot going on for her. I mean, the whole thing with the human realm and being able to fit in, having a group of friends for the first time. I mean, and she's a teenager. I mean, come on. Okay, next ship. What's the next ship I wrote here? Basha and Willow. I don't know how this one started. I mean, the story that I see on the fan art is basically Basha bullies Willow because she has a crush on her, and I'm like, that's. And Willow is just like, yeah, I forgive you. And I think that's kind of a cop out. I think you really need to address like the toxic behavior that Basha has on Willow, because that's not healthy, man. I mean, isn't that kind of like Stockholm syndrome? Or Willow just took like a bunch of shit from Basha, and I don't think it's fair for them to just like be together willy-nilly, because a lot of these fan arts they take place when they're both still students, so like around the same time as the show, which I think isn't really that great. Um, I seeing the fan art, like they're really good. They make me want to ship Basha and Willow, but like my brain is like, man, they shouldn't really be shipped. It's like how Deku and Bakugo shouldn't really be shipped, because it's not that I'm against like same-sex couples, but it's like, yeah, Bakugo bullied Deku for a really long time and done some terrible stuff to him, so they shouldn't really be romantically involved. I think they should repair the relationship first, which they totally did. I mean, it's not 100% fixed yet, but they both are taking steps to rebuilding that broken bond, which I think is amazing. If they did that with Basha and Willow, that'd be awesome. I'd love a Basha redemption arc. That way I can like 100% ship Basha and Willow, but for now, can't really ship it. I mean, not really with my heart. Um, I'd like all the posts. It's really awesome to see how people love Basha and Willow. One of my favorite comics is basically Basha's like, yeah, I like you, Willow, and Willow's like, oh, so you bullying me is just because you like me? Yeah, no, that's not gonna fly. And I'm like, yes, exactly. It's not gonna fly. You know exactly how I feel. So I bookmarked that shit. I'm probably gonna show it on screen right now. Yeah, Basha and Willow. Um, 50% ship it, not cool yet. Hopefully season 2, Basha redemption arc. Okay, the last ship I wrote down. Technically there's a fourth one, but I don't really want to talk about it. I'll just talk about it for a bit. But the third one, Viney and Amira. I was really confused when I saw this one. Like, Viney and Amira? Like, at the time, I was probably on like episode 6, and I saw this ship. I'm like, wait, who's Viney? Is that part of Basha's gang? And then I got to the episodes like, oh, that's Viney. But Viney and Amira, they didn't interact with each other at all. Viney appeared in one episode, Amira appeared like a couple times. I don't really get how it started, but I'm definitely jumping on the ship because it's an amazing ship. Like, what the heck? The fan art is amazing. Like, obviously, everything I ship is because of the fan art. I mean, who else is gonna make the ship? Am I right? But I don't know. Viney and Amira, they're really cute together. I really like Viney as a character because she's a healer. I love healers. I play support in League of Legends. I play support in Overwatch. I'm basically support in everything. And she took the healing track and she took the animal track, which wow, that's an amazing thing to combine, you know? Like how she gets her pet pigeon, griffin, whatever, to to help her with the healing. I thought that was amazing. And Amira's like kind of like Edric. They're both prankstery, but I feel like Amira is more mature than Edric. I don't know. It gives off that vibe, and even though I don't see a lot of chemistry between Viney and Amira, mostly because they didn't talk to each other, like I don't know. But the fan art makes you want to ship it, but my brain's like, why should you ship it, you know? And my heart's like, because of the fan art. Ship it because of the fan art. And for section number 5, I just wrote down a bunch of Instagram artists that draw a lot of Owl House fan art. I will be listing this in no particular order. I just looked at the people I'm following, and I checked out their profile. And it's like, yeah, I remember this name because I don't know. Sometimes you see a post, and it's like, yeah, I know it's from this artist, and I checked the artist name, and it's like, yep, I was right. So first one on the list is Lensley Chan. Lensley. I'll probably be showing like pictures of their art on screen right now. Um, I don't know. That's the most memorable name because that's the first one I wrote down. The second one I wrote down is a weird Latina, which is I'm not being racist. That's just their username, okay? Um, and then the third one we got Snartles. The fourth one, really weird name. This one really stuck with me. It's called TOHRKGK. I know TOH stands for the Owl House, and RKGK is like a Japanese slang for unfinished work. And I was so confused when I read this, like TOHRKGK, what the heck? But it's not a reposting account. It's like an actual account. They also have a Twitter. I think most of these people have a Twitter too. The fifth one is Minday Bay. Their art is actually amazing. I I follow them on Twitter just to look at their art because they post on Twitter first and then they post on Instagram like a few days later. And I only know their posts on Instagram when reposters post it, you know. And the sixth one is Sleepy Doodles. Sleepy Doodles, I think, has really amazing art. Also, a very memorable username. Congratulations. Sleepy Doodles is really easy to remember. Um, the next one is Lychee Nun. I don't remember much about their art. Like, I can't picture what it looks like, but I remember it being good. So it's probably good. Next one, actually Kaz. I don't know why. I really like their art. One of my favorite pieces of theirs is probably the Willow and Loose ice skating. Because I don't know who drew that on the Owl House live stream. Was it Dana? Maybe, possibly. Like some doodles Dana had, and I think she was watching Yuri on Ice at the time, which is why she drew Loose and Willow ice skating. And the last one is Skyblob. I think their high school AU is really awesome. I wish they post more, but of course I know that art takes time, and I am just patiently waiting for their new work because goddamn, I love it. I love it so much. I know they post frequently, but like I need more. I want more. Um, okay, that's it for that section. Instagram artists. Okay, number 6. Things I want to talk about the Boiling Isles because wow, I think the the world building is amazing. We get small snippets of of the world. We don't get like a huge lore dump in one episode. It just like it slowly builds up. It makes you curious. You just want to keep watching the show. You want to find out more. I think that's really awesome. The first thing I want to talk about is magic on the Boiling Isles. I don't know if it's basically confirmed, but I don't see a lot of people talking about this. But the magic in the Boiling Isles, I feel like it can be separated into two main categories. Internal magic and external magic, because witches have like a bile sac which they use to use magic, right? That's why Luce can't use magic because she doesn't have the bile sac. I wanna think that like it's my personal headcanon that witches were only able to use magic found in the environment, but like survival of the fittest, evolution, they basically evolved to have a bile sac. But the thing is, according to the show, 50 years ago, witches were still using wild magic. So why would they use wild magic if they already had a bile sac? Unless at that point they already had the bile sac, but they're still using wild magic to further enhance their magical ability, which I think could be a reasonable theory. It's my personal headcanon that the bile sac exists because of evolution. Um, there's really strong support about external magic because what Ida says is that magic is all around you. You just gotta find it. Like how the stars are basically the light glyph, and snow is made out of the snow glyph, and fire and plant, and so on and so on. I think all that magic originates is from the Titan, right? I mean, this I don't know. I think a lot of people just like defaulted. Yeah, it's the Titan's magic, and and witches can use it if they want. But I think they primarily use the Bile-Sac magic. So what Luz has to do, right? Luz has to draw the glyph, and I think the symbol is the catalyst on like, yes, mana, please do this. Mana, please do that. Like light glyph. Yeah, I draw a light glyph. This means that, hey mana, can you create light? Okay. Hey mana, I make a fire glyph. Please make fire. It's like okay, I internal magic, external magic, and apparently magic can be stored, kind of, because that one time Amity had like this training wand, and when Luz took a hold of it, even Luz could cast magic. So I guess you could like store mana inside objects like that wand, so that anyone can use that extra mana to cast spells. And there's the power glyph. I think it's what it's called, but it's a thing that makes you stronger. Like during the witches duel between Luce and Amity, like Amity had a power glyph attached on the back of her neck, and all her spells just got boosted. So does that boost come from an increase in the mana she has, so that her spells just powered up, or is it like because the first time we saw the Paraglyph used was to enhance a person's physical strength, right? Does that also increase their magical strength? Not necessarily increase the amount of mana and spells they can cast, but it only increases the strength of the magic they currently possess. Or it could do both of those things, where it increases the strength and gives you mana, because we don't know how glyphs work. And um, if the magic does come from the Titan, it makes sense on why Luz can't cast magic on Earth, but Lilith still can, because Luz can only use external magic, right? She does not have internal magic. But Lilith has internal magic, so when you're on Earth, Lilith can still use her reserve to cast spells, while Luz cannot, because there is no magic in the air. And I'd like to assume that the bile that the witches use to cast magic, they recover over time. But with the case of Ida, like I guess the bile sac gets damaged because it doesn't really have any. Like the bile sac doesn't do anything for the body. It just makes you able to cast magic. So if it's damaged, I don't think Ida would be physically ill, except for the curse, of course. But she doesn't really have. I mean, I guess they do have the curse. It's just split. So if they both go into beast form, that's gonna be really scary. Um, I don't know where I was going with this. I just like the magic system, very unique. I really like it because it shows that people have affinity with a, it shows that people have higher affinity with certain magic than others. For example, Willow has a higher affinity for plant magic instead of abomination magic, which I thought like, okay, this makes sense. People can cast magic more effectively than other people. Yeah, okay. It's good that you showed this indirectly, and Gus with illusion magic is also pretty cool. I like how we have three characters with illusion magic, and I don't really know what Luce is studying in class. Like, how would that help her cast spells? Because she's not learning glyphs from them, because witches use some kind of hexadecimal system or something, I don't know, to cast magic. So I guess witches have to do some kind of calculation to cast magic, which I find kind of odd. And since the whole island, the whole Boiling Isles, is basically the corpse of a titan, I'm assuming um, Emperor Belos's plan. It he explicitly states, "I don't care about the human realm," but he wants the portal to the human realm anyway. Why? I think he just wants to know how to make a portal, and the destination will be a different place, not the human realm, possibly a realm similar to the one they're in right now. But the thing is, the one they're in right now, the Titan's dead. Maybe they want to go to a realm where the Titans are alive or something. I don't know. It's the Owl House. There's wacky, crazy things going on. And yeah, I want to know how palismans are made because palismans are so cool. That's one of the things I wrote down for things I want to see in season two. How palismans are made. I know Dana said we're gonna know more about glyphs. Um, I wish there's character development in season two. More Lumity, obviously. More Gus and Willow. Yeah, Gus and Willow, they just kind of exist. They don't do much. Willow gets like one or two episodes, I think, and Gus only gets one episode focused on him. And Willow gets two focused on her. So it kind of sucks. I just wish they'd be more important instead of just existing. Um, that's basically all the topics I've written down. This video seems to be um, about 25 minutes, almost 30 minutes maybe. I don't know how much I need to cut this down because of the camera falling down and me stumbling on my words. But I hope you guys enjoy another session of me just gushing about a show I like. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, maybe a comment. You should definitely watch The Owl House. If you want more content, go subscribe. But that'll be it for today. Wooly, say goodbye. Bye bye. I will see you guys next time. Take care.